I introduced the course, I was sharing because of the challenge of time. I shared a little bit of the course yesterday. So we're taking bioenergetics, of course, you know that, and I'll be the one taking it through. I'm Mr. Martins by name. Um, so I'll be sharing a few things today about bioenergetics. I'll take what I shared yesterday. I'll go over it once again, then start proper for today. Sorry, I'm trying to find a way to show you my screen from where I've got a lot of things from this place. Okay, let me see. Can you see please, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Please proceed.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I'll be taking about genetics. So let me quickly go ahead and proceed with this. Bioenergetics is a branch of biochemistry that focuses on how cell transform, produced, being stored, and consumed as adenosine triphosphate. Yesterday, I was sharing that bioenergetics is a field in biochemistry that deals with the transformation of energy, the production, and the storing, and how the energy is being consumed in the system. The field of biochemistry basics is the biochemical molecules, the study of biochemical molecules. So this bioenergetics is just like a branch, or let me say section, that makes emphasis on the cellular respiration, cellular progression, the growth, the growth in response to the use of energy. So basically, it's just maybe I will say it as the biochemistry of energy transferred in a living organism cell. Better still, I can sum it up by saying about is the biochemistry of energy transfer within the cell. So if you can see from my slide now, you see about energetics deals with the processes such as cellular respiration, photosynthesis, and other processes that are essential to most of the aspect of the cellular metabolism of life itself. So bioenergetics is a process that happens variably every section of cellular interaction. At any point, whatever interaction that a cell is going to have, the process of bioenergetics is going to be involved, from digestion, absorption, any process. Mention any cellular process that involves cells metabolism, the catabolism of the cell, the breaking down of macromolecules, synthesis. Mention it. So every process of human cell or human body, animal body, generally, that involves the transformation of cell, the transformation of energy, uh, transformation, production, storing, and consumption of energy. That's where the bioenergetics comes in. Now let me move to the next slide. Why do we study bioenergetics? Why studying bioenergetics? I study bioenergetics. From the slide there, the understanding of metabolism provides the directions to better understand how skeletal muscles generate energy and how and why the body responds to exercise the way it does. The study of metabolism is aided by studying bioenergetics. Many times people go to relaxation center, or whereas the people go to gym center, and they don't understand the principle behind what they are doing. Individuals just be like, okay, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, and they are always concerned about building of muscles, stamina building, um, their ability to their ability to sustain, to lift loads, to lift weights, to do different kind of works that they've not been able to do before. They want to see themselves doing well in maybe one or two little activities that they want to engage themselves in. And in the midst of this, they decide to go to a gym center. But really, the only thing they are concerned about is, lifting weights, doing exercise, but they don't understand what happened within them. So this study of bioenergetics is an eye opener to know the metabolism of the body itself. Basically, the metabolism of cells, the transfer of energy within cells that brings about the building of muscles, and at the same time, um, the ability of the muscles to generate energy within the system. So from this slide now, you can see that I put it down. It helps to understand the metabolism that provides the direction to better understand how skeletal muscles generate energy. So the why the body responds to exercise the way it does. So let me go to the next slide, and that's where some of the little information I want to share today is. Now we have the next slide. You have the laws of bioenergetics. There are two laws, major laws of bioenergetics, and I will take time to explain these because this is the basis of whatever you're going to be doing in bioenergetics. Simply the basis of whatever you're going to do in bioenergetics. If you don't get it on this point, that means you won't get it in any point at which you are studying bioenergetics, as it were. Now, the laws of bioenergetics. The laws of bioenergetics provide the rules upon which metabolism functions. Metabolism functions. Now, before we go ahead, metabolism happens in living organisms. And there are two ways to it. You can either have it as catabolism or you have it as anabolism. You can either have it as catabolism. So metabolism does not only involve synthesis alone. It also involves breaking down of molecules. So I said there are two laws of bioenergetics. Number one, energy cannot be created or destroyed, but can be changed from one form to another. Beg your pardon. Can be changed from one form to another. I have different examples there. I have a sight and vision, or sight of vision. I have sweating. I have muscle. There's muscle contraction. Those are just little examples I put there, I'm going to explain, and I'll take that law again. It said energy cannot be created or destroyed, but can be changed from one form to another. Can be changed from one form to another. Can be changed from one form to another. Now, energy is everywhere. Energy is virtually everywhere. Energy is everywhere. Energy is everywhere. Energy is one of the component of life that is always available everywhere, and that's one of the reasons why you see um, the postulation of law of thermodynamics saying energy cannot be, energy this, energy that. Energy is just like available everywhere. Energy is available everywhere, and that's why you have one of the major, when you're talking about a body now, you have two sections of energy. You talk about the potential energy, and if it is a mobile body, you talk about the kinetic energy. So the potential energy is the energy that is processed by a body to be at a stable state. But the kinetic energy is the energy that is processed by the body for the body to move from a particular state to another, or to change from a particular form to another form. So this law that we have here is talking about that energy cannot be created or destroyed, but can be changed from a form to another. Now, let me start from the muscle contraction. Muscle contraction. Now, what happened to you when you have contractions, or when you realize that you were able to um, do certain thing because of your muscle mass? Okay, let me use it this way. Peradventure, you were sick, or you've met somebody who is sick, who has been sick for days. You realize that the ability of this person to be able to carry load is not going to be that visible. Especially maybe somebody who has been sick for days, and you now ask the person to carry, sometimes individual might not be able to carry a bucket of water, or different occasions like that. Now, in that case, what happened to them was very simple. In the space where, at the time where they were sick, some of the biomolecules or biochemical molecules that they would have used has been exhausted, probably because of the infection they have, or probably because of the microbial attack they have. It has been exhausted. Maybe as a result of different other factors, environmental factors that surround them. So the their ability to do what they should do is not that so visible, and it's not that they are not they're unable to do it well. But what happens is, when you eat as a person, when your food digests, there's going to be a synthesis. It is this synthesis, the synthesis of the food, that becomes the biomolecules that enters into your muscles for strength. So when it enters into your muscle, it's a chemical energy, as in it becomes a soluble biomolecules. So it enters your muscles and that's what helps you to be able to do the mechanical factor of the muscle contraction. You can try it now wherever you are. Just say your right hand, move it up and down as if hold your fist and move it up and down. The reason why you can do this was just because you have enough of biochemical molecules within your muscles, and that was the reason why you can move it. So it was in a chemical energy before. It is being transformed into the mechanical energy, and that's the reason why you see that you can lift some little materials up by yourself. So the next one, let me take sweating. Sweating, as it were, is a method of excretion. Is that correct? Is a process of excretion. But you realize that this excretion is not possible without a medium. It happens through the skin, isn't it? It happens through the skin. The sweating happens through the skin or some other part at which the skin can permit the excretion of water or excessive water or salt or some other molecules that need to go out, but it's majorly through the skin. Sweating is obviously through the skin. So now you can look at it in this way. There's an energy that is required for the formation of these sweat within you. Gathering, going through your blood vesicle, your sweat ducts, get to help to release the water. But after that time, it becomes a water vapor, isn't it? It becomes droplets on your skin, like droplets. And before it wasn't like that. It was probably in a certain form of liquid, and there's an energy that is required to make it happen before it becomes a water vapor. So usually when you look at your skin and you feel like, okay, I'm sweating, the process does not start there. It has started before you get to see. So what you see was the water vapor. And that's why sometimes if you pay attention to your skin, especially if you were the type that pay attention to your body very well, you realize that before you start seeing that the water on your body after your sweat, like the water molecules you have on your body is that much, you have realized that there's a little form of little, should I call it water molecules now, very, very tiny in nature, that you're seeing it under your, probably on your skin hole or your ear hole. So sometimes it comes out that way. Then lastly, the examples, or one of the examples I put there is vision. So how does vision comes in? Vision is using, before an image can be formed. I'm very sure some of you are science students, so you will have heard about optics and waves. You have done that in your elementaries anyways. Optics and wave, and you have heard about solar energy and the likes. Now, in optics and prism or optics and wave, you realize that before an image can be formed, before any formation of any image, there must be the presence of a visible light. The presence of a visible light. And this visible light has its energy on its own. And that's why we have the likes of solar energy, ultraviolet ray of light and the like. So it has an energy on it too. The light has an energy. How does it have an energy? When you have an emission from a light source, is a transfer of electron. And the means of transfer of this electron, the emission happens as the result of libration of the atoms, or the electron rather, the libration of the electron of that compound that is emitting, the libration of the compound that is emitting, the libration of the compound that is emitting. So now taking it further, taking it further, taking it further, when there's light, when there's rays of light, the rays of light enter into your, it enters into your retina. Is that correct? It enters into your retina. Don't forget, your eye is composed of fluid. Your eye is composed of fluid, and from there, there's a reaction between the light intensity that enters your eye with the fluid that produce an electrical charge. And that's the reason why I was able to show you from that slide that the energy, the light energy, is being transformed or changed from a form to another, from being a light energy to become a chemical energy before it becomes an electrical energy. Before it becomes an electrical energy. Let me quickly take a look at the second law, of bioenergetics. The second law of bioenergetics. The second law of bioenergetics. Excuse me. The second law of bioenergetics. The second law states that energy transfer will always proceed in the direction of increased entropy and the release of free energy. I'll take it all over again. Energy transfer will always proceed in the direction of increased entropy and the release of free energy. Energy transfer will always proceed in the direction of increased entropy and the release of free energy. Now, I'm very sure you understand energy transfer. Energy transfer is just a movement of energy from a particular place to another, or from a particular end to another, or in a particular form into another. Just like when you have a chilled bottle of water, there's an energy that is required to keep this water cold. But when you start realizing that you start having water bubbles or or the water vaporizing, at the back of the bottle or the can or the plastic of the bottle that you just brought out from a freezer or a refrigerator, you realize that there's a release. Usually you used to see something like foamy, no, not foamy, like sometimes it looks like fume or clouds. I don't know how best to say it now. It's like fume. Now what you see was just a transmission of energy. There's a release of energy into the air as a result of the surrounding factors. That means the temperature that keeps it to be in the state of being a solid water has been altered. If you see a ice block or ice water, let's say you put it in a freezer and it freezes up, it begins to give fume, emitting and things like that. What is happening in that place is just energy transfer. So there's an energy that is required to keep it in a solid form, and there's an energy that is required to take it from a solid form into a liquid form. Now, two factors or two matters was mentioned there, and that's why I have to take it on myself to highlight it to you so that you can understand more about it, so that you don't get confused. Now, you have two terms that is there: direction of increased in entropy. Direction of increase in entropy. Now, looking at it, entropy is a state function that is frequently misunderstood as the state of disorder of the system. I've had it over the time as the state of disorder of the system. But what is more important in this space is to understand that entropy is essentially a measure of how much the energy of atoms and molecules spread out in a process. Now, I'm trying to use a simpler term so that you get it once and you get it for, once and for all. Now, looking at it from I said entropy is a state, entropy is essentially a measure of how much the energy of atom and molecule spread out in a process. So whatever process this molecule or this atom is going through in the space of heat transfer or energy transfer. Now, the ability, or let's say the measure or the quantity of the energy of the atom that was spread out in the process of the energy transfer is what is called entropy. I'll take it again. The measurement or the amount, let me use amount, the amount of energy that was transformed or that was spread out in the process of the energy transfer is what we called entropy. Is what we described as entropy. Is what we described as entropy. So going forward, we have the free energy there. I said the free energy is a composite function that balances the influence of energy and entropy. So the calculation of free energy, or how to get a free energy, is just a variation of the influence of energy in variation with entropy. In energy with the variation with entropy. Now, let me quickly show you a picture. Now, I'll still get back to that second law. This is the grammatic explanation of the second law of bioenergetics. Now, the law says energy will always proceed in the direction of increase in entropy. What is entropy? Entropy is the measurement of the energy that was spread out in a system or in a process. Now, if you look at that picture, you see that the energy proceed in the direction of the increase in entropy. Now, you're seeing two individuals there, someone that's playing cricket and the other person that is doing that's judo, right? Now there's a substrate. Substrate means uh, substance in its own word is a substance or a minute substance of a particular molecule. Most of the times when you hear substrate, substrate is usually used basically for when you're talking about um, biochemicals generally. Biochemicals generally. And when you hear substrate, substrate is just a molecule. Substrate is a molecule. Now, and when we say molecule now, in the case of this, we are talking about, don't forget, we are dealing with bioenergetics. I'm going to be rounding up for today in a few seconds now. We are talking about bioenergetics. Now, looking at it, there's a the substrate is, let me call it, the chemical energy that is required to build the muscle for this man to be able to do what he's doing, playing that cricket. So you see, the law was saying that the energy transfer will always proceed in the direction of the increased in entropy. So the more the energy is being spread out in the process, or the more the constituents of what makes it to be spread in a system, the more the energy get formed. Or let me use it this way: the process of the formation of the energy or the realization of the energy for the individual. This man that is playing cricket now, maybe you would have, eat different kind of food to gather energy, but you won't understand the power of the food he has eaten until where there is a spread, activity started coming up, increasing this man ability, the 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 muscle will start working, exercising. So the spread of these, the molecules of the that brings about the energy formation now will begin to spread, begin to spread within the system. And that's the reason why you see that the law say energy transfer will always proceed in the direction of increased in entropy. So by tomorrow I will be we'll continue on another space. I'm still your host. Ebi Martins by name. Thank you for joining, and I'll be glad to have you tomorrow. Enjoy yourself and God bless you. Peradventure you have questions, maybe let me just, if you have question, let me check. You can drop your question, maybe just one. Perhaps you have any question, let me just see from what I taught you today. All right, I think there's no question at all. Okay, I don't want to eat too much into the time. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, and have a wonderful day. Thank you. Oh, Biora, I saw you raising your hand. Please, can you type your question on the question area there? There's a point for question where you can ask question. Obiora, if you can hear me, please make use of that. There's a place for question on that app where you can ask your question. All right. If I couldn't get any feedback from there, I think we need to call it today. Thank you so much for joining. Enjoy the rest of the day. Sorry, Obiora, I need to go now. My time is up here. So just prepare maybe your question against next class. Then make use of there's a place on that same app whereby you can input your question. So I will see it from the other end. Thank you.